All right, welcome to another guided meditation for happiness and mental fitness. This is a technique we've been working with called Metta, also translated as loving kindness or goodwill, good vibes. And it's a very powerful method that maybe is already producing changes in you. One of the things that happens as you practice is that this positive emotion will become more selfless. In other words, it'll feel like it's less you doing it and more that it's just you're getting out of the way and it's what's there in the mind when we release ourselves out of the way. And there was an interesting study that supports this at the Yale Department of Psychiatry. Basically showed that experts doing this technique showed less connectivity in the default mode network, these regions of the brain that produce the sense of self, the narrative sense of this is me, this is who I am. And that was compared to beginners. So as you continue to practice, it might more and more feel like it's almost happening on its own. All right, so let's get started. You can just settle into your meditation seat. And nothing fancy, really just making yourself comfortable. And it's helpful to have a upright spine to be alert if possible. And then you can just simply relax from the top of your head, scanning down your body and softening any tension, any muscle groups or parts of the body where it feels like you're holding. You just release and enjoy that release. And then there's a tendency to want to jump into the meditation like it's a sprint or something. It helps to warm up by doing nothing at all, just sitting there with a small smile on your lips if you'd like, and enjoying. We've used three ways so far to bring up this feeling of metta, this internal happiness. So you can use whichever tool has been most effective for you. Either a phrase like, may I be happy, a cute animal, or a baby, picturing them in your mind's eye, or a friend, somebody that it's easy to feel metta for. It's easy to feel good vibes for them, so just picturing them in your mind can help bring up that feeling. And then, as usual, we'll start by sending this feeling to ourself. And the intention is, I love myself. May I be happy. This feeling of care for yourself because you work so hard. And we can't truly feel happy until we feel metta for ourselves. And now allow this feeling to expand out letting the metta, the universal love, the good vibes shine out like the sun, radiating in all directions on its own. One way to do this is to allow the feeling to fill up your entire field of experience. In other words, that warm feeling of metta, often felt in the chest, is allowed to spread throughout your body. So your whole body has this subtle kind of tingly warmth to it. And then it's allowed to go out further, filling your whole field of awareness, whatever that feels like for you. And some people are more visual. They might kind of see it radiating out in all directions towards everybody. The key is this is happening all on its own now. Once you put the key in the ignition by bringing up the metta, getting the feeling going, now you're just sitting back and watching, like you're watching a movie. My teacher, Bante, used to like quoting Yoda from Star Wars, the little green wise master who said, "Do or do not. There is no try." And it's kind of like that with the metta. We just invite it in with the intention. We can't force it. We just invite it in, priming it, putting the key in the ignition. And then we allow it to shine. We allow it to do its thing as we watch. And see if you can watch without controlling or getting involved. Your only job is to watch the metta. And then if the mind gets distracted, if suddenly you're off thinking about this or that, then use the 4 R's. Recognize, release, let the distraction go. You just allow whatever is there to be there, like a thought or a sound. You just allow it to be there. Relax any tension in your body. Often distractions come with the subtle tension that pulled our mind there. And now relish, which means come back to the feeling and enjoy. If you have to put the key in the ignition again, you can do so by using a phrase or image to bring up the metta. You relish in that. And then the 4th R is to remain. It's the intention to stay with that feeling. Beautiful. You're enjoying this field of loving awareness. I like to call it Metta-Awareness with 2 T's. Metta-Awareness with 1 T is the observing, ability to observe one's mind. Now, Metta-Awareness with two T's, is that same observing mind infused with metta, with universal loving kindness, unconditional love, good vibes. And slowly, this shift will happen on its own. Go from observing the metta to becoming the metta, to becoming that field of metta awareness. Wonderful. Now feel free to keep meditating or carry this into the rest of your day. Before you get up, it helps to reflect back and think about, what did you learn about your mind? What worked and what didn't? How long were you able to stay with the metta awareness before you got distracted? And then, as an example, as you're moving about your day, you can always use the 4 R's to recognize, release whatever you're thinking about, and relish in this metta feeling and remain with it. For example, my mom was biking on a challenging mountain. She said she brought this into her mind and it helped her get up the mountain. So it doesn't even have to be around people, although metta is often best in the company of others. So enjoy, and I'll see you on over for the lesson on how to boost mental energy.